It's one of the, I mean, I think I would call it one of the town's treasures, frankly. The question is, though, what do you do with it? If we move the library, the main function of the library, to another site completely, we don't have the money and the staff to keep that building running completely as a library. I mean, well, that would be going to the town and saying, we need a lot more money to do that. You could theoretically do it, but the staff will be needed at the new building. So we've been looking around. What could we do with it? We've done a couple of things. We sent out a survey, which you probably all saw in the HLN several months ago. And among the questions in that survey were, what would you like to do with the current building if we move to another location? So we've gotten ideas from people. Actually, I think a fair number of them. We've also had a public meeting we announced for people to come and talk to us about what they would like to see done with that building. We've talked to a bunch of people. We had a meeting with some of the town staff, the people here in Town Hall. We passed the question around to other people, police chief, fire chief, all these people, DPW. Did they have any conceivable use for the building? Just to get ideas as to what it might be. We don't have the answer right now. I mean, this is going to be, it'll have to be something that we work out as we go along. Obviously, I would say this, if of anybody else, the selectmen are going to be having an important say in what that building ends up being. We need to work together on that. Some of the ideas that have been presented, one of them is to actually use part of the library as a historical genealogical collection of some sort. Not only stuff from, we have a bunch of stuff at the library, really historic books, old books. There are other collections here and there around town of old books and that kind of material, which is really not accessible right now. And it would make some sense to try to collect it there. You wouldn't be, if it were run by the library, it wouldn't be open all the time. Like I said, we don't have the staff to just maintain it, but it would certainly be something where you could open it some limited number of hours a week or by appointment, that kind of thing, which would be, it would be something for that particular type of collection you could work out. It would really be a research or reference kind of collection, an historic collection. Interesting. Another question or another idea for that building is some kind of meeting space. And that could be one of two things. It could be either, ideally, the downstairs, the first floor, the lower floor of the library, which is now the children's area. If you took all the library, equipment out of there, it makes a fairly good-sized room. Which you could easily, and in fact, when the library was first built, that building was first built, the library only occupied the top floor. The lower floor was the town meeting room. So, be historically accurate to do that also. It would actually be possible also to have meetings in the upstairs room, because you'd have to make some arrangement if you had important books and things like that up there. You'd probably have to have them enclosed shelves, some sort of doors or glass covers over the shelves to keep them out from the public. But with all those built-in shelves around there, you could put a pretty good-sized collection. That would be a really terrific place. You've got this huge fireplace up there, wonderful old stone fireplace. It's just a nice room, the wooden beams and all that. It would make a nice meeting room, a nice place for meetings. So those are a couple of possibilities. It's also possible that you could, certainly in the downstairs, you could put some kind of office space in there. What that would be and who would go there and what it would be for is an open question. There are some things that might not work so well for. So, the police chief suggested that building might be a good site for like a neighborhood police station, and said, this was when we were getting hypothetical ideas coming in. Instead of having one in Fox Hollow, maybe you could do it up here in the center of town, since there's no longer a police station up here. So there are a lot of things that you could conceivably do with the building. It's just something that would have to be worked out. I think just one more little point. That's kind of the framework for what we're doing, I think. I hope I haven't forgotten anything. One particular issue is about staffing, because people always ask us this. You know, if you move to the new building, are you going to need more people? Are you going to need bigger staff? Implied in that is, are you going to need more money to staff it? And the answer is that, as far as we can tell, no. The library is the building we're proposing is substantially larger, but it's also much, much more efficient in terms of use. Right now, we have an old building on 2 floors, plus 2 trailers. We've got actually 4 different physical locations that need to be controlled. When the library is open, you've got staff over in trailer, at least in the big trailer. You've got staff on the top floor and staff on the bottom floor. In the new designs, it's put in a way so that you don't have to have people spread out like that. You can deal with larger volume more efficiently. So we're hoping that basically the staffing we're looking at will be about the same. But the move to that new building will not in itself require any changes. If, as anywhere, you know, a few years from now, if the library becomes much busier, we might come back and ask for more people, but that would be because of increased use and increased demand rather than just because of the move. Okay, I tried to be a little brief, but I think that's as long as I need to go on.
You were not brief, no.
No, but I had a lot to cover.
But we haven't got to the library yet.
And so what I want to do now is move to the actual design. Just a couple of things. I handed out this evening copies of some slides, which they also have. They should be showing these on TV as we go along. And with that, I'll just give it to Richard and let him go.
All right. Well, we've been sort of through the process now for a couple of years. We've gotten some familiarity with the town, and I think we've also gotten some sense of what the issues are. As with many towns, there's a question of resources and trying to make the resources stretch as far as we possibly can make them. And in order to do that here, we've had to go back. We've revisited the program that was developed in 2003 to develop a new design. And basically what we had to do was back up from the number that you folks gave back in the fall to say, well, how big a building could we conceivably build for that sum of money, and what can we do with that building? So what we've developed here is a design that's based on trying to get just as much bang for the buck as we can for the town. The site is we think a fairly fortunate one in that we've got, I think, 3+ acres in the area that we've defined here, and that's a good-sized site for a library, and it's a site that gives us the allowance for expansion of the building in the longer term. As you may know, the drive that goes into the Hills Garrison School comes in here. The Alvern parking lot is over here. So this is the wooded area in between.